Welcome everyone. This is the Tuesday, August 13th, Cedar Creek Township Board meeting. Let's say the pledge. Chuck, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I sure would. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, could I have a motion? Oh, roll call, please.
Bob.
Here.
Heather.
Here.
Linda.
Here.
Dave. Here. Brian.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion
I'll
to
second
approve
it.
the agenda.
Any edits or additions?
None.
Okay. Agenda is approved. Next on the agenda would be the minutes. You've all had an opportunity to review those.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, minutes are approved. Treasurer's report.
Our July 1st, 2024 beginning general fund balance was $1,302,997.68. Revenues totaled $25,289.83. Expenditures totaled $270,168.08, leaving an ending balance of $1,058,119.43.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Does anyone have any questions for Heather from the
I have
board?
none.
No? All right, then we will place Heather's report on file. All right, thank you very much. Okay, disbursements.
We had lots of them.
Okay,
No, we had our fire contracts come due last month. Did a couple road projects, paving of Cedar, brining, and also the Dawson Road improvement. And the Ryerson brothers on the, I think that was on the pavilion. No, the pickleball courts.
pickleball court.
Yeah, pickleball court. So, yeah. But if you have any questions, you can see them now.
Okay. So that adds up to be quite a bit, so thank you for that. So we need a motion, yeah?
I'll make a motion that we pay all of our regular bills for August.
Support.
Any questions or on that? All right, since we're spending money,
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Linda,
yes,
Dave, yes. Brian.
Yes.
motion carries. Thank you. Correspondence. Dave, do you have any correspondence you need to discuss?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, all right, thank you. Public comments. Anyone have any?
I do
Nancy?
have just a question for the treasurer. Is there a law or is there rules with the state of Michigan that townships have to retain so much money in their fund?
I don't know that. I don't know. I would have to find that out for you.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because we do have quite a bit of money in the fund. It's
Right.
just I didn't know if the state's saying
Yeah,
you have to retain so much money.
I don't know that there's a minimum.
I've
A
talked
lot
to-
of townships are actually operating with debt, so I doubt that there's a minimum.
And also thank you for putting the treasure, the amounts on the report.
Oh,
I
that's actually the
appreciate
clerk
that.
that did that. The clerk prepares the minutes, so.
To answer your question, talking to municipal advisor on our building program. And he says you want to keep basically 3 to 5 months of funds in your general fund.
Okay,
So that's just a rule of
Yeah,
thumb,
thank you.
not not a dictate. So that'd be about 350,000 for us, but that would be, bottom end.
okay.
And one of the things Heather's always talked about too is being cautious about having too much money in there.
Yeah, you don't want to be told, by the state, state revenue sharing that, you guys are getting too much, so we're gonna back it off.
Yeah,
So,
we're not in any danger of doing that now.
right,
Because our ARPA funds, we're just about at the point where we will have depleted those ARPA funds because of our park. So we are getting to the point where we're really in good shape. So
Good.
we've been in good shape, but we're doing a great job with our finances.
Yes.
So
and those ARPA funds were required to be designated by the end of this year,
yeah,
so.
Okay,
well, great question.
thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. We did not have any new business this time. So moving along, the next question, or the next item on our agenda is under unfinished business. This is property transfer. So, Lorraine, front and center. She
Oh,
hates
man.
it. She just hates it when we do this to her.
I thought we did this. This is just for approval to keep moving forward on the very strange pieces of property we have on both sides of Holt and Duck Lake Road. They're just odd little triangles. I don't know how far north, but we have one property owner on 16th Street who wants to buy 4 little triangles to join with his, so he's got Holt and Duck Lake Road frontage. He's paid for the survey, the new legal descriptions, title search.
Title search, yeah, right.
This is just approval to move forward with this, plus any other potential future people who want to buy these little adjacent pieces that the township got deeded, I don't know how many years ago when they built the road.
Right. The road commission deeded these parcels of property to Cedar Creek Township, and they're just little triangles of land on the opposite side of the road, or of the,
Both sides of
Both.
the road.
okay. And in order for someone to sell if you keep title to your property, and you just continue to live there, it's not an issue. If you wanted to sell your property, you can't have clear title to your property because Cedar Creek Township owns these little triangles of property. Hence, we're trying to,
That's not necessarily true.
well,
They own their property, but these people are probably unaware they don't own all the frontage on the road.
which is in Cedar Creek Township's name.
Yeah.
So, they need clear title to it. So that's what we're looking into and trying to resolve. So, right now, what we have we're trying to, resolve this 4 little triangles of property for Mr. Thorson. So
I'll make
we
a
need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve it for Mr. Thornton and any future residents
Do we need
Come forward.
separate? We need separate on this. No, we can do it in one.
Support.
that they come
Okay.
forward and pay the surveying fees and stuff.
Okay, we have a motion and a support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next on our agenda is the shared project with Dalton Township. It is the Dalton Road upgrade. Unfortunately, we wanted this to go very smoothly, and it did not. I wish I had a great report for you, and it did not. Cedar Creek is very much in favor of improving Dawson Road, and we were ready to move forward with this project, and Dalton Township is not. They see themselves as having fewer residents on Dawson Road, and Cedar Creek as having more. They look at the shared project as we should be carrying a larger portion of the burden because we have more residents than they do, and it seems to be that the shape of the road is irrelevant, and they neglected to consider that we did Dawson Road when we have no residents on Dawson Road, and they have residents on Dawson Road, and we paid for that as well. So, apples and oranges don't seem to be working here. So, and they didn't want to do the project this year. They wanted to wait until next year. So with that said, I think we're just at this point tabling this until we can talk with our residents and ask them to have a conversation with with the residents on Dawson Road, with their Dalton neighbors on Dawson Road. I should be more specific when I say that. I think perhaps it might behoove us to write a letter to the Cedar Creek Township residents and let them know that we're in favor of doing the road. But hopefully they'll have a conversation with their Dalton Township neighbors. So.
You want to speak on the meeting we had actually on the road?
Oh, yeah, great idea. Thank you, Brian. The Cedar Creek Township Board went to Dalton Township on Dawson Road. It's a shared road, so we stood in the middle of the road, and I might say in the rain. It started out dry, but we got soaked, which was a great thing.
Worked out well.
Yeah, I
Had to
hate to
leave.
say that, but who wants to stand out there in the rain? But I'm glad we did. We were literally soaked, and we got to see what the road. We met with the residents. We let them know what it was that we were coming. Encouraged them to invite their neighbors, and so they did. And there were actually more Dalton residents there than there were Cedar Creek residents. But we got to see the road in action, and it's not a pretty sight. There are lots of holes and puddles, big craters in the road when it rains, so we empathize with those residents. Which is what made us decide that this road needed doing. We understood the plight that they were in, and we believed that they had in fact waited long enough. So this board was of like mind. There was no one that walked away feeling that this people deserved anything other than road repair. So there's nothing more to say other than that.
I can say a couple things.
Bob's been a champion of
Well,
this for a long time.
We thought, because we helped Dalton Township when they did that piece between Ryerson and 120, we have no residents there. And we shared that with Dalton Township, the cost, and then We went to North Dawson where we got Cedar Creek and Dalton residents, and now they don't want nothing to do with it. It's just wrong, you know, and the residents want it, I want it, this board wants it. It's something Stephanie's heard a lot, but we just need to get it done, and now Dalton Township just basically threw their residents under the bus is what they did, because that road is terrible. So I guess I got done with what I wanted to say, but shame on you, Dalton. It's just the way I feel.
Okay, all right. Next, anyone else have any?
I agree with Robert Wright. He worked at the road commission for many years. I've grown up in this area, left in the military and came back. That road is terrible. And as we were out there meeting, it started torrential downpour and we could see the erosion, we could see it starting. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be repaired. And it's supposed to be a split between the two townships and the road commission, and we can't just carry that whole burden. We can't do it. So unfortunately, we're trying to rally up the individuals to talk to their neighbors, to go talk to the boards, and you know, see if they can get some momentum so we can get this fixed.
So we're not done here yet. That would be my last comment. We're not done here yet.
Good.
So, okay, next on the agenda, resolution to approve project design and financing plan for renovation of Township Hall and construction of a new community center. Okay. I think in our pre-meeting we had a little opportunity to have some discussion, and everyone here on this board is of like mind in terms of the importance of the safety. This building is old, it's been renovated a number of times, and we have had to send people out into, I've had to send Martha home when I had to have a private meeting because there's no place to go. The building was full, and we've had, the major concern here is safety. This building is not set up for the safety concerns of today's world. So all the MTA meetings, which is Michigan Townships Association, drive home the need for safety. This building is anything other than safe and secure. So that is one of the major issues that it's impossible to address in this building. So all of us are of like mind as well about concerning those issues in this building. The architects have told us that this building is structurally sound for the time being. With that said, there are a number of issues that need to be addressed in this building. There's holes in the siding. There's issues with the roof. There's some other issues in the building that are of major concern as well, that are also very costly. So those are of major concern. So all those things need to be taken into consideration. This building does need major upkeep. As I mentioned earlier, our ARPA funds are about to be depleted, and we are looking at taking our budget to a different level than it's been in a long time. So that makes me a bit uncomfortable when I look at what do we do. We've always been at a higher level of income. And so I'm a bit nervous about those kinds of things. So one of the things that I want to do is consider looking at alternative sources of funding. And when we had our pre-meeting, those are some of the things that we discussed. How do we address the building, our needs for a new building, and all the funding that it takes to build a new building? So with that in mind, we're going to begin to look at options for alternative funding sources. One of which I have a call into the USDA and for their low interest grant and low interest grant for their USDA grant and low interest loan. So I'm going to see if there's anything we can do to secure funding through either of those sources. I also am going to look at other options in granting sources. There are other sources out there to secure funds, hopefully. When you look for a grant, nothing is ever set in stone. You apply for a grant and then it's just the way it is. But that is going to be my goal, to do everything in our power to find other sources, other funding sources. So with that said, we're going to ask for a motion for Dave and Brian, I believe, are going to look at
And Heather.
and Heather, okay, Heather
Board
Delamata,
committee.
to begin to secure a new, what is it, construction?
Contractor.
Contractor? Okay,
You gotta get a firmer price
Okay.
rather than the range we're working with now.
okay, so we need a motion to look for the contractor so we can firm up pricing. So,
I'll make that motion.
okay.
I'll support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a motion and support for to secure contractor so we can get a firmer price on the building. All in favor of that? Aye. Okay, motion carries. Oh, I should say, is there any further discussion on that? No, okay, thank you. And that motion carries on that. And then I would like a motion also to allow me to move forward in seeking as many granting sources as I can. I'd like your blessing.
Blessing with a motion.
Yeah.
Second.
Thank you. We don't even need a vote on that. So that is our goal on that.
If we want it to be recorded as a motion,
Yeah,
we do need to
yeah,
vote.
you do. Yeah, you actually do. As a motion. I need a motion to support.
We have the motion and support, we just need to vote.
Okay, vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'm going to vote for myself because I really need it on this one. So, all right, motion carries. So, that's a big heavy lift, folks. So that on all of us, this is a big, big heavy lift, and none of us are taking this one lightly. I
It's
mean,
gotta be done.
I'm really,
We have no choice.
yeah,
It's nerve-wracking. The money.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I literally feel myself shake on this one, so. All right, any further discussion on this issue? All right, okay. On recurring business, I just wanted to say our Parks and Recreation Committee is meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, at 3:00 p.m. at the Township Hall. And there are a lot of items on this agenda. It's a big one. Melissa Eikenberry is going to be joining. She's standing up there and sitting down there in the orange shirt and her butterfly shirt. So if you haven't met Melissa, please introduce yourself. She's wonderful. So you'll really appreciate her. Okay, now we move on to board comments. I always start with Bob. Brian.
Start first. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I always say that, but I truly mean it. It takes each and every one of us to get involved in our community. And it's great when people come and they voice their opinions, because that's what this board works for, is the community. And I really want to tell the Parks and Recs Committee, I got a chance to walk on the paving trail out there, and this board, it's amazing. That is really something. I had a few questions on when is it going to be painted for the pickleball stuff, and I told them we had to wait, was it 30 or 60 days for the paint?
45.
45, okay, so
45, yeah.
I told them I would get that answer tonight.
Yeah.
Should be done by now, I think.
It should be any day.
Close.
They had to
Close.
turn the nets. So.
Lots of
Yeah.
good comments, lots of people using it, lots of good things happening. Just thank you for everybody's hard work, and thank you for all the subcommittees' hard work. It's a lot of people to make this township move forward in a positive manner. Thank you.
Dave.
Look forward to moving forward on this building project. It's sorely needed. It involves reconstructing this room or this building, putting more office space in, and then building a community center next door. Hopefully we can get it going here pretty quick. Anybody that spends time in this building knows how much is needed for private space, for quiet. You're laughing. That's all.
Dave calls this back here. He calls this his phone
It's my
booth.
phone booth.
So.
And Jeff's not here during the week.
You're either in a closet or a phone.
Or out my car. Or
Yeah. We had the craft show here on Saturday. It was monumentally cold. I mean, unbelievably cold. I ran back and forth making coffee for not just the vendors, but for the people who were at the craft show, because everyone was freezing. And but with that said, I do want to point out that the people who were in attendance said things like, "Thank you so much for this beautiful park and for working so hard to make this a community." So, I mean, it does not get any better than when somebody says something like that to you, because they are genuinely appreciating everything that this board has done to make this a community. And they talked about, it wasn't just the park, but it was events like this that make this a community atmosphere. So when they say things like that, it was like they were talking about, and this one mom in particular, she spoke about the read-along and this arts and crafts show, and so appreciating everything that we're doing as a township. So, I genuinely appreciate hearing things like that. And I got a little choked up, but it was cold. So it would be nice, Andy, if you could work on the weather.
I know you could do it. It was windy too.
Oh, yeah. It was-
Blowing them canopies
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, when I got home, I will admit that I took a nap. It was, the cold got to me. So, Heather.
I just want to remind everyone about bingo.
Oh, I forgot bingo. Oh my gosh. And I worked so hard on getting John Anderson to bingo.
I told you got some cards there, I'll play cards.
Oh, but thank you, because you also reminded me, John and I cooked up this afternoon. Yes, and John's going to do it. We are having a Cedar Creek Old Codgers baseball team.
Softball.
Well, softballs. I see, that's how much I know. But we're going to start in September, and Heather's going to be a ringer, and Heather D, you're going to joined too.
Okay.
So we decided we could throw in a couple ringers, and so we thought old codgers, and it would be fun. Dave's going to be in it. Brian, are you?
We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
He can coach.
Bob said he
Yeah.
was going to do it. Yeah. So, you know, we thought this will be great fun. So, sometime in September, date yet to be determined. Andy's going to help promote it. Yeah, he didn't know yet, but.
Give me a golf cart to run the bases and I'll play.
We're gonna use hover rounds.
So I just thought, you know, that this would be fun. We're gonna need a couple coaches, because why not? So we need 18 people. I figure I got, you know, half a team so far. I just started this afternoon, not too bad.
Why don't we play Dalton? Just a thought.
Oh, there you go.
What'd you-
The loser pays for the road.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty steep.
Or at least like, you know, their half.
Yeah, be on board. Get on board.
We win, you have to be on board.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's not a bad way.
When is bingo?
Bingo is, I still didn't go there. Senior bingo is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You have to be 60. So, and we already have.
68, I can't go. so-
No. You are bound and determined you're not going to play.
I'm not, no.
We already have at least 20 people.
Good. You're all set. You're all set. Ow.
So we are in good shape. It is going to be fun. We are going to laugh a lot. So,
I'm next.
you're next.
All right. As a lot of you know, I've been working on natural gas in the township for several years. I'm working on another project now at 80 customers. I do have some numbers that were really high, 7,300 to hook up. That'd be a surcharge of $91.47 a month. Went to the engineering department said this number isn't feasible, which I understand and I know it's not feasible. And now we're working with State Representative Curtis Vanderwall. His office has been in contact with the Governmental Affairs Department at DTE, and they are working weekly with having meetings weekly. So hopefully we'll find some good news out, you know, but I figure it's gonna take some time, but we'll get it. We got it before, we'll get it again.
Good job.
Cedar Road all the way to Maple Island, and then the piece of Brickyard. Ryerson Road from Snow Camp to Maple Island. Crocker Road from Brickyard to Maple Island. And then down here by the double ponds, there's 18 residents up in there, and they're within the distance that DTE told us we had to be, so.
Can you work on
We got them the
fiber?
information.
Can you work on fiber, bring fiber cable in?
Yeah, we'll do the same.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll do that next.
Yeah, well, we're
I
already.
want to get the gas.
We're already working with Windsor Dick to,
What's that?
it's West Michigan Shoreline, I can remember which one is first, the R or the S, Shoreline Regional Development
Oh, okay.
Committee, to bring broadband in.
Okay.
So,
They're working over in your area,
Yeah.
aren't they, Brian?
Mhm.
yeah. So.
But that's all I have.
Yeah, and Andy's calling bingo. I forgot to mention that.
Boy,
I get nervous
that's
in front of crowds.
That's a surprising look.
Crowds scare me.
We do have fun though.
Yeah. So, okay, now public comments.
One, on the building, are you getting more than this one bid for the construction?
We haven't got to that point yet. We need to
Okay.
define the project, the finished prints.
Right, but
And we've narrowed down to one or two contractors right now, so.
You are gonna get more than one.
We will get bids from all the subcontractors, yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Right.
Good question.
Doesn't the policy say 3 anyway?
Pardon?
Doesn't the policy say you have to get 3?
Yes.
When you can.
You're right.
Yeah, when you can, yeah.
We put it out there and had a response from these two people, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's, right now contractors are hard to get. That's really hard to get. Yeah.
That's right, you know, don't you, Shelley?
Yes, sir.
How big a building are you thinking on doing? And is there blueprints already put up, or?
Heather, could you get those sheets you have with the drawings on them?
Yeah, just the prints.
Well, that whole thing, take a look at it. It's got the
Yeah.
resolution on there where you looked at past midnight, along with the prints we're looking at building. This is just a concept drawing. It's not, it's just a footprint, basically, of reconfiguring this building and building a small community center next door. So, hope there's enough to go around.
Ron,
So
did you?
the top resolution is a little bit of a moot point because we didn't vote on that today, but.
Do you wanna
there's
hand
prints
that
on
out
back, couple
with
of
the
pages here.
resolution
A little
on
bit of a Picture.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
On your monologue there about the building, you mentioned roof, but I don't know.
That's what it is right now.
It is.
There are some shingles missing up there now.
Check it out.
so.
You-
Yeah. Do you have any shingles left, Ron?
It's like a different language.
I, actually, the last time I worked on it, I took the shingles off that lean-to
Oh,
to put
so-
up on the roof.
Okay, so we need to get shingles then.
The shingles now are smaller than the shingles that are on the roof. so.
Yeah, them are old.
So I had to kind of cut them and arrange them to cover the seams.
Thank you.
so
Yeah, no problem.
They're not the right shingles.
This is this building.
Picture, color picture.
So what are you proposing?
I'm just letting you know that it's in rough shape. Because there's shingles missing. And you can't buy that size anymore. So I made it look last time. It's another roofer.
Hopefully helps on the way.
Well, we can't wait that long. Another straight line wind comes and we're,
If you want to do a bucket of tar, you can tar it off.
So I'm gonna do this one.
You wanna talk about England, architects that came and looked at it, evaluation or anything like that? And like the evaluation of the building and such like that?
So when is the baseball game?
Well, that's-
sometime in September. We have to,
Next month.
there are no softball games. Heather verified that. There are no fall softball games for the Holton Ladies League.
Are they
So,
doing that late summer one like they did last year? They had like another season towards the end of the summer?
As far as we know, there's no fall ball
Yeah,
season
yeah.
for Holton here.
we checked it out, so that's why we're good to play.
Wanted to look at it, so you got it.
Like I know how to play softball. Like I've lifted a bat.
You can be on the other team.
Make yourself small and play for a while.
Are we getting uniforms?
No, we're not getting uniforms. We'll design hats and you can buy your own hat. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? I think it's a fun idea. And we've got the softball leagues or fields. It will be fun to play.
And I got friends of mine that drive ambulance, so maybe we can get them.
Oh, jeez!
Well, you never know. We are getting older.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're
You
safe.
get by a bar, you're going down, and then you know.
Yeah, you're right, I know. Speaking of which, the Holton Fire Department was so gracious to be out here on Saturday and had great conversation with the fire chief and deputy fire chief and one of the firefighters, and I mean, they were wonderful. And even though there weren't many people here they were sporadic in the way they came, they gave adults tours, they gave children tours, and they said there were new people here that were building homes, so they learned new addresses. One woman was so excited because she'd never been close to a fire truck before in her life. And it was an older woman, and it excited her. So they said, from their perspective, this was a win-win. So they said it didn't get better than that. And they're always thrilled to be around little kids. So, and then, then I started to get teary again, because that's what all this is. It's community spirit, and it was fun. So they said, don't worry that it was cold, and they had their big heavy coats on. Bob Grabinski had shorts on and his big heavy coat on. So,
He was cold.
yeah,
Do you
he was
have,
cold.
real quick, do you have the names of the people that were here?
Cindy does in her
Okay.
office.
Because
She
I want to
does.
buy another pair of slippers from that lady.
Oh.
Yeah, she'll have a phone number too.
Yeah,
she can give you.
Cindy's got all that. So okay. With that said,
Nancy,
if-
Oh, I got,
oh
go ahead.
I did have a question
Yeah.
for the board, and I know this board has done phenomenal, getting things done and accomplishing, but I would really like to think that this township could support a cemetery. We do have a cemetery. Our property is paid for. It's all, but I noticed other townships like Dalton's, they have a nice cemetery. Why can't we utilize the property that we have and have a cemetery for our people?
that's a good question, Nancy, and it's not one that I haven't thought about too, because I actually think we can.
Oh, that would be great.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the whole board. I think it's possible, personally.
Well, we have 15 acres, if the board did not know that, on Ewing, there's 15 acres.
Okay. I think it's possible. It will take some surveying and finding you can Windsor Dick, once again, Dave, I think helps you plot that, where the cemeteries are, where the actual plots are located. And I have to double check that. And they have a service, I believe, that will allow you to, because you have to make sure there's no other graves.
Oh, outside
of
the
that.
memorial cemetery.
Yes,
we have.
yes. And in as much as I know about that, which is un poquito. And so I will look into that, and then I will follow up about what it would cost. Cost is another factor on what will it cost us. I know that Layton Township just did a huge memorial garden and columbarium, but it's huge, and theirs was like, the financial undertaking for what they did was huge.
Well, I don't think our residents,
But you're talking about a regular cemetery.
a regular cemetery, because plots are thousands of dollars.
Right.
And I think the township could
Support something like that.
support,
Yeah,
it would pay for itself, I'm
yeah.
sure.
And it would also mean that we would need to have a sexton. And so that's something that, you have to have a sexton
Right.
once you do that, once you undertake something like that. So,
But I thank you for your time. to
Okay.
listen.
all right, okay. Any other questions?
I got
Yeah.
one more thing to say. We recently had a fire, the Mullins family just down the road. I guess the house is about destroyed. Just keep them in your prayers.
So, and they're related to someone here in this township, I mean, in this room, so. All right, anyone else? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.